There are moments when words never find their way to the surface, when the sorrow inside us is so heavy that the world cannot hear it, yet heaven does. You and I know what it is to sit quietly, holding back the storm in our chest, while to everyone else we seem calm. The truth is that the most honest prayers are sometimes the ones that are never spoken aloud, but rather wept in silence, and those tears, the ones no one else notices, are not wasted. They are seen. They are gathered. They are treasured. We often imagine God as listening only to our spoken prayers, as if He were waiting for us to construct the right sentence or to use the right words. But love is not bound by words. A child does not need eloquence to draw the compassion of a parent. The very cry, the very trembling lip is enough, and so it is with God. He sees beyond speech. He listens to the heart when it cannot form a sentence. He counts the tears as though they were sacred offerings. There is something profoundly mysterious about sorrow. We think of it as weakness, but perhaps it is closer to truth than many of our smiles. A tear can carry more honesty than 1,000 carefully chosen phrases. In our grief, we are most real, stripped of pretense, and it is in that rawness that God's gaze is most tender. He is not repelled by pain. He is drawn to it as a healer is drawn to wounds. Consider this: nothing that flows from you in sincerity is ever lost in the sight of God. The world may ignore you, friends may overlook you, even those who love you may not understand the depth of your struggle. But God sees what is hidden. He does not simply notice your tears, He interprets them. He knows whether they come from longing, from guilt, from loss, from loneliness. He knows what you cannot explain even to yourself. It may be that the tears you shed in secret are the very prayers shaping your tomorrow. Often we look at the silent nights and ask why heaven seems quiet. But in truth, heaven is answering in ways we cannot yet perceive. A tear falling in trust is like a seed planted in the soil of eternity. It disappears into the ground of mystery, but in time it will blossom into something we did not expect. And so, if you find yourself alone tonight, if your tears slip unnoticed into the darkness, remember that you are not unseen. You are known at your most fragile. The God who holds the stars in their courses bends low enough to see the droplets that stain your pillow. The one who paints galaxies notices the salt upon your cheek. That is how vast His care is, and how intimate His concern. Do not despise your tears. Do not think of them as failures. They are evidence that your heart is still alive, still longing, still reaching for something more. They are the hidden language of the soul, and they rise to heaven like incense, carrying with them a meaning deeper than words could ever carry. And perhaps one day, when you look back, you will find that those very tears were not wasted pain, but the ink with which God was writing a better story for you. A story you could not yet read, but one that was already unfolding in His perfect sight. God sees what others overlook. The tears you hide from the world are not hidden from Him. Every silent cry, every unspoken ache is known to Him more deeply than you know yourself. God sees what others overlook. The tears you hide from the world are not hidden from Him. Every silent cry, every unspoken ache, is known to Him more deeply than you know yourself. There are burdens carried quietly, moments when you walk into a room with a smile, because that is what is expected of you. Yet inside, you are weighed down by heaviness that no one else can measure. People may glance at you and assume all is well because they cannot see past the surface, but God is not fooled by appearances. He sees the unseen, hears the prayers too fragile for words, and feels the ache too deep for language. There are nights when you lay your head down in silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because your soul is too tired to shape thoughts into sentences. You wonder if anyone notices, if anyone cares, if the ache within you will always remain hidden. Yet in that stillness, God is closer than your own breath. He does not wait for you to form the right words or structure a prayer. He is not listening for eloquence. He is listening for truth, and truth is often revealed in the tears that no one else sees. The mystery of tears is that they speak a language of their own. They are the soul's confession, poured out drop by drop, without need of translation. A single tear carries weight that no conversation could fully capture. When you are misunderstood by people, when even your closest friends cannot grasp the depth of your pain, God understands. He does not simply see the tear fall. He knows the story behind it. He knows the longing, the disappointment, the regret, the hope deferred, the love lost, the burden carried, the dream unfulfilled. He knows the whole tapestry of your inner life, every thread woven with a purpose unseen by others. Many people are skilled at hiding pain, building masks so convincing that even those who love them cannot detect the struggle. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone because no one notices the quiet battles fought in the silence of your mind. Yet God is not deceived by masks. He looks beyond the laughter, beyond the practiced expressions, beyond the facade of strength. He sees the fragile heart beneath it all, the heart that longs for relief, the heart that trembles in the dark when no one is watching. In His sight, nothing is wasted. Every sigh, every tear, every restless moment has meaning to Him. There is comfort in knowing that God's awareness of you is not casual but intimate. He is not a distant observer, indifferent to your pain. His gaze is tender, His attention personal. He holds your struggles as carefully as a mother holds her child, with patience and compassion. The tears you hide from the world are never wasted in His presence. They are gathered, treasured, remembered. They are not marks of weakness but evidence that you are human, that your heart still feels, still longs, still yearns for something greater. Sometimes the tears come not from tragedy but from longing, from an unfulfilled desire for meaning, for love, for peace. Sometimes they come from guilt, from mistakes of the past that weigh heavily on the conscience. Sometimes they come from loneliness, from the ache of feeling unseen in a world full of faces. Whatever their source, God understands. He does not simply notice the tears. He interprets them. Where others might misunderstand you, He knows precisely what each tear is saying. He knows the hope behind it, the wound beneath it, the strength it costs you to shed it. The world often praises strength and composure, but God honors honesty. He values the heart laid bare more than the smile maintained to please others. Your hidden tears are not failures. They are offerings, expressions of trust in the one who sees what no one else does. They rise like prayers, wordless yet full of meaning, ascending to heaven where they are met with compassion. When you feel unnoticed, when you believe that your pain is invisible, remember that invisibility before people is not invisibility before God. He has always been the one who sees the unseen. From the beginning, He has noticed the outcast, the forgotten, the overlooked. He has always turned His gaze toward the humble, the hurting, the ones the world disregards. To be unseen by people is not to be unseen by Him. Your silent tears are testimony that even in loneliness you are not abandoned. Often, the most significant work God does in a person's life begins in the secret places, in the unseen moments of surrender, in the quiet nights when tears fall like prayers. These are not wasted seasons. The pain you feel now may be the soil from which growth emerges later. Tears can water seeds you cannot yet see, preparing a future that only God understands. You may not yet comprehend the meaning of your own sorrow, but He does, and in time you may look back and see that those hidden tears carried more power than you realized. Your worth is not measured by how well you conceal your pain or how strong you appear before others. Your worth is measured by the gaze of God, and His eyes see you entirely. He does not turn away from your weakness. He does not ignore your trembling. He does not despise your tears. On the contrary, He honors them as sacred expressions of the heart He Himself created. In a world that often demands performance, you are free in God's presence to be real. You do not have to pretend. You do not have to hold back. You do not have to explain. He already knows, already understands, already sees. Your silent tears are not wasted, not forgotten, not hidden. They are seen by the one whose sight never misses what matters most. Your tears are not signs of weakness, but sacred prayers that rise to heaven without words. God gathers them, understands them, and shapes them into hope for your tomorrow. Your tears are not signs of weakness, but sacred prayers that rise to heaven without words. God gathers them, understands them, and shapes them into hope for your tomorrow. When the heart is too weary to speak and the lips cannot form sentences, the eyes tell the story instead. A tear is not an accident. It is the soul's way of expressing what language cannot capture. There are moments when the ache inside you is too deep for conversation, moments when silence is the only companion, yet in that silence your tears become eloquent prayers heard more clearly in heaven than any speech ever could be. We often underestimate the value of tears because we see them as something to hide, something to wipe away quickly before anyone notices. The world teaches us to equate tears with weakness, as though strength means never breaking down. But strength is not the absence of tears. It is the courage to let the truth of your heart flow without shame. God does not look upon tears as defeat. He sees them as offerings, as treasures of honesty. Each one is counted, each one is known, and each one is carried into eternity with meaning far beyond what you can imagine. There are seasons when your prayers feel empty, when the words you whisper seem to fall flat against the ceiling. You may wonder if God is listening, if He hears the cry within you that has no sound. Yet He does not need volume to understand. He does not need carefully chosen words to discern what you mean. He reads the tears as though they were sentences written in the most intimate language of the soul. A single tear can say more than hours of speech. It can carry the weight of grief, the ache of loneliness, the sting of guilt, the longing for something better, the hope that refuses to die even when all seems lost. God not only sees your tears, He interprets them. He knows the precise reason why they fall, even when you yourself do not fully understand. Sometimes you weep without knowing why, only aware that something inside you aches. In those moments, you may feel confused, unsure of the meaning of your own sorrow. Yet God is not confused. He knows the root, the cause, the hidden place where pain has been stored. He understands the memories that still hurt, the disappointments that still echo, the wounds that have not yet healed. Where you may see only mystery, He sees clarity. Where you may see only brokenness, He sees the pathway to wholeness. Tears have always had a sacred place in the journey of faith. They are the evidence of a soul that refuses to grow numb. They are signs that your heart is still alive, still tender, still capable of longing for love and truth. In a hardened world, tears prove that you have not surrendered to despair, that your heart has not turned to stone. They reveal that within you remains the capacity to feel, to care, to believe that life holds meaning even when circumstances seem bleak. And God honors that. He takes the tears you shed in silence and turns them into unseen prayers that touch His heart. There are tears of repentance, when you recognize your own failures and grieve over the ways you have strayed. Those tears are not ignored but welcomed, for they are steps toward restoration. There are tears of loss when someone dear to you is taken and the ache of absence feels unbearable. Those tears are not overlooked but held in divine compassion. There are tears of longing when you desire something good that has not yet come, when hope feels delayed and dreams seem distant. Those tears are not wasted but woven into the future God is shaping. Whatever the reason, each tear carries meaning, and none of them slip past his gaze. The remarkable truth is that God does not merely see your tears, he gathers them. It is as though he holds a vessel in which he collects every drop, keeping them close as reminders of your journey. They are not discarded, not forgotten, not overlooked. They are preserved as testimonies of your faith, as evidence of the battles you have fought quietly, as proof of the love and hope that still live within you. While others may forget the moments you wept, God remembers them all, and beyond remembering, he transforms them. Tears are not the end of the story, they are part of the process. They water the ground of your future, making it fertile for growth. What you sow in sorrow often becomes the soil of joy in time. Though you cannot yet see it, God is shaping your tomorrow through the prayers carried in your tears. They rise before him, wordless but powerful, carrying requests you may not even know you are making. He answers not only the prayers spoken aloud, but also the prayers hidden in your tears. There is strength in knowing that your tears are not wasted. They carry weight in heaven. They matter in eternity. They are part of the mysterious dialogue between your soul and God. You do not need to fear them, nor despise them, nor feel ashamed of them. They are sacred, holy in their honesty, honored in their vulnerability. They remind you that you are human, fragile yet deeply loved, weak yet infinitely valuable. In God's sight, your tears are not weakness, they are worship, not defeat but devotion, not emptiness but prayer in its purest form. The world may forget, people may misunderstand, but God notices even the tears that fall in the dark. Nothing about your sorrow is wasted in his sight. The world may forget, people may misunderstand, but God notices even the tears that fall in the dark. Nothing about your sorrow is wasted in his sight. There are times when life pushes you into places where no one seems to notice what you are carrying, where you walk through days surrounded by people yet feel unseen. It is easy to believe that being overlooked by others means you are overlooked entirely, but that is never true. Human eyes may glance and pass by, but divine eyes see with perfect clarity, reaching into the very depths of your soul. There are hidden battles that no one else knows, struggles that never make their way into conversation, nights when you cry quietly into the darkness, thinking no one hears. In those moments you may feel invisible, yet heaven sees every detail. God is not distant, not detached, not blind to the small things. He notices the single tear that escapes in silence, the trembling of your hands when you are weary, the sighs that escape when words will not come. To others, these moments may be invisible, but to him they are precious, and he marks them as part of your story. People are often quick to judge what they see and slow to notice what they cannot. They see your smile and assume you are fine. They hear your laughter and believe you are untroubled. They watch your strength and think you are unshaken. Yet behind that outward appearance, you carry a weight no one else can measure. God is not fooled by appearances. He sees through the surface, beyond the practiced expressions, beyond the carefully built walls. He knows the truth of your heart even when you are determined to hide it from everyone else. Nothing is concealed from his gaze. When you feel forgotten, it is not because you are truly forgotten. The world has limited attention, and even those who love you can fail to notice what matters most to you. But God is never distracted, never absent, never too busy to see. His awareness is constant, his knowledge complete. He has not only seen your tears, but also the thoughts that gave birth to them. He knows the disappointment that weighed you down, the loss that left you aching, the dream that slipped through your fingers, the hope that seemed to vanish. He knows the story behind every sorrow, and he remembers each detail even when everyone else has long moved on. It is tempting to believe that unnoticed sorrow is wasted sorrow, that pain without witnesses is meaningless. Yet in the sight of God, nothing is wasted. Your tears are not pointless. They are part of the hidden dialogue between your heart and His. They are as prayers offered in secret, rising silently yet powerfully, speaking truths you could never put into words. They matter because you matter, and nothing that comes from your heart is ever dismissed by Him. There are times when you may feel misunderstood, when people interpret your silence as indifference, your withdrawal as coldness, your tears as weakness. But God never misinterprets. He knows the exact meaning of every sigh, every quiet moment, every tear that falls in the dark. He does not label you as weak. He does not misunderstand your silence. He does not dismiss your struggle. His understanding is perfect, His compassion unfailing. Where others misread you, He reads you truly. Your tears hidden from the eyes of others are fully seen by Him. They are not simply noticed, they are honored. He gathers them, remembers them, holds them as part of His love for you. To the world, they may vanish quickly, absorbed into the fabric of the night, forgotten almost as soon as they fall. To God, they are eternal, kept as testimony of your journey, stored as treasures of the soul. They are not wasted moments but sacred ones, woven into the fabric of who you are becoming. The darkness may feel lonely, but it is not empty. In the very moments you feel most unseen, you are most deeply seen. The sorrow you carry does not isolate you from God. It draws Him nearer. He is not repelled by your tears. He is drawn to them, for they reveal your heart honestly, without disguise. And in His sight, honesty is never shameful. He meets you there in the hidden places, and though you may not feel it at once, His presence surrounds you in ways more profound than words could explain. To be unseen by people is not to be unseen altogether. The gaze of the world is fleeting, but the gaze of God is eternal. He has always been the one who notices the overlooked, who lifts the forgotten, who sees the ones who feel invisible. He has always been close to the broken-hearted, always attentive to the cries of those who suffer quietly. That is His nature, to see what others do not, to value what others dismiss, to remember what others forget. Nothing about your sorrow is wasted. Not a single tear is meaningless. Not a single ache is overlooked. What you release in the silence of your nights is received in the fullness of His attention. Every tear has a place, every sorrow a meaning, every cry a response. Though you may not see how, though you may not yet understand why, your tears are part of something greater than the pain you feel now. They are not empty drops. They are seeds of hope, carried by the one who never forgets.